Lunch with Leah, episode 425, season finale. And here's Leah.
Hi, everybody. I am reminding you to wear your mask. Wear your mask.
Wear your mask.
This guy may be this one. Let's see. It's really fabulous. It's lightweight and fabulous. Ramart Couture. And he dropped it at my house. Can you believe it? I thought that was fabulous.
It was very nice.
And you can put the little filter in it. Anyway,
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't think he sells them. I think he just he made a few.
You know,
for his friends.
I think he
Does
he he sent a message on Instagram, and I think he does sell them. So
he
you might want
does.
to check on his
Well, you might.
Instagram profile out.
Ramartcoutore. But they're really
He
good.
does dresses and other things too, but I think
Yeah.
that's what he's doing
and
right
I
now.
put the filter in there, the coffee
Yeah.
filter. Anyway, it's
That's
fabulous.
great.
I still like the other ones, the sweater ones too. I like them all.
We like options.
We like have our options. James has a good one, a Versace, two nice Versace ones. You can hold it up. Fabulous. Oh my God, if we didn't have Versace in our life, what would we do? So when I
you
saw
wouldn't
them
have me.
looting, they looted the Versace
In
store
Beverly Hills.
Beverly
I sent you
Hills.
that picture.
So I thought, they're going to be at that flea market now on Fairfield and Melrose. I'm going to call everybody in LA and go, you need to go troll the flea market. If you run into Versace that fell off the truck, call James.
Yeah. I mean, it's really sad.
It's
I mean, if
very
you look,
sad.
they ripped the
It's
door off. There's
horrible.
nothing left on the
They
inside.
took
It's a shell.
everything. The mannequins.
The
They
mannequins
took the clothes
were-
off the mannequins and left a couple of naked mannequins,
Yep.
and that was it.
It was really bad.
Oh, that was heartbreaking. And then they
And-
did the Gucci store. But these are smart people. They know what they can sell on the secondary
Well, yeah, I mean,
market.
it's stuff with resale value. The other thing, too, is that whole strip, Melrose Avenue is kind of like a strip mall with all that.
Yes.
And the company I used to work for, we had a store there, and I heard it burned down, and I heard that they burned down like almost every store in the strip mall.
There were 80 stores. Bill, my buddy that lives over kind of in that neighborhood, talked to the police officer. There were 80 stores on that strip. The vintage t-shirt shop and the vintage album stores
Yes.
are there. I don't know if they were looted or burned down. You can't really sell that stuff so much. They probably went after stuff you could sell. And then the flea market across the street on Fairfax and Melrose, RJ and I used to go there every Sunday morning for, 5 years because he bought all the uniforms and the camouflage and all that stuff. Now, obviously, don't got all of it. I said, can we give this away one day? I've outgrown it. But, so it was very sad. And, that's right in my neighborhood. Anyway, what else? Oh my God. So these to-go orders. Is it me or do they seem to be charging more when you're ordering from Ubereats and stuff anymore?
Listen, it's outrageous. I'm one person. I ordered a salad and an entree the other night. It was $80.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
It's
you
crazy.
Can eat for a week
It's like
on that.
it's like
I'm
$25
sorry. That's
in fees
ridiculous.
before you get to anything.
So I
It's
started
unreal.
picking stuff up. So I decided, you know what? I told RJ, just because you can pay for something doesn't mean you should.
Right.
And the UPS driver drops something at our house and the FedEx driver drops something. They don't want a tip. I force the tip. Paul gives them $5 no matter what they bring, no matter who they are. I would rather give the money to the people that say, no, it's part of my job, than be ripped off, So I got in the big fight with Uber Eats. If you follow my Twitter, you'll see where I ordered Tico his birthday dinner. He's 78. I thought he was 82. 78 years old. And it didn't get delivered. It became this big, long thing. They did give me the money back, but I want to know what happened to the food. Where is the food? Did the guy eat it? Did he throw it away? Did he donate it? I mean, was he hungry? I would have bought him a meal. I just don't like the idea that they're getting away with stuff like that. And at times like these. This guy was 78. He's been quarantined. It's his birthday. We send a birthday dinner and he doesn't get it. And he's sitting there waiting until midnight. I'm sorry.
That's
this is
horrible.
not the time to take advantage of anybody. It's the time to do more for people. Anyway, that happened.
Yeah, people are chiming in here. They say that,
annoying.
amen, best thing that they've heard all day. Because you can afford it doesn't mean you should pay for it. And Benita Gonzalez says they are charging more. And Nikolai Carpenter, she says your makeup looks fabulous.
Oh my God, well, it's my Hermes lipstick James gave me. But you know what? The way I feel about money, if you have it, get what you need for yourself and your family. Treat yourself. I don't care. Live in 5 billion mansions. But don't throw it away. I'd rather give it to somebody that needs it. It's like when I think about buying, like let's say you want to buy a blouse, it's $400. I'm like, for $400, Freda could send that to her family in Ecuador, and they can live for a month on that. I put it into the context
perspective.
of what could be done with that money? That doesn't mean I don't have nice things. It doesn't mean I haven't treated myself, but it means I don't throw money away. You know, I try to buy things that'll last forever, that'll have intrinsic value one day on eBay or Sotheby's, and otherwise I wear my jeans and my t-shirts and my stretch pants. But I can't stand watching people frivolously throw away money when there's so many people that don't have money. They said the other day 1 out of 5 families, their children are hungry. I mean, in this country, are you kidding me? They throw away more food at these fancy restaurants every night. It's just unbelievable. So I just feel like if you have means, you should be now of all times, you should be doing and sharing. That's just my point. I don't know why I got on that.
Adam Dobson says he has also had issues with Ubereats. They did the same thing. His order never arrived. And Nancy, and Nancy Robinson is asking, is that a new microphone? No, it's the same one we've had for a while. Does it sound better?
You know, the thing is with the Uber Eats, like, it's like if RJ orders something, a hamburger. Okay, fine, he doesn't get it. He's not going to starve to death. He can go down to the kitchen and make himself some scrambled eggs. But a man getting it for his birthday, and you call and say, I have something coming for you, and they're sitting there waiting, that's just wrong when a 78-year man's been in quarantine. And I want to know where the food is. I didn't even, I never asked for the money back.
But
they shut me up. They gave me the money back.
And that's the last you're going to hear from.
That's not going to shut me up.
No, but that's how they're going to do it.
It's not about the money.
No.
It's not about the money.
They didn't know who they were dealing with.
Where is the food? And it's about the money. I'm not going to let them get away with ripping off the money. But anyway, moving along.
Right.
So all those spreaders at the Ozark party. Remember the Ozark party?
Now one of them had it.
One of them, now there's a ton of them having to be tested, and that you watch.
They told, the state surgeon general told everybody that was at that party that they should quarantine for the next...
They're not going to.
No.
They're not going to. The other day...
They're opening bars back up here
Memorial
in theaters.
Day, I said, oh, thank God it's going to rain. People won't be out partying. Roy goes, don't worry, they'll be in their house partying.
Yep.
I mean, people that don't get it,
that doesn't make any difference what you say.
People that they don't want to hear it, they're in denial, and they don't get it. And until you listen, you're not going to get it. But 20% of the people are going to get it, and a percentage of that, 20% is going to get it bad, and a percentage of that are going to die. Why do you want to be one of those people at the hospital having these people risk their lives? And then the other day, a study came out in New York that the healthcare providers are a less percentage of getting it than the people on the street, which means the protective gear works. It's like a condom. If you wear one, you got a less chance of getting pregnant.
It's really crazy the way that people are just not wearing masks and they're acting like it's just completely over. And we've got literally the perfect storm happening. That hurricane is heading up towards Louisiana, and they're already at capacity in their hospitals, and they just had another outbreak, a surge this week. So, it's just a mess.
And by the way, the hurricanes can come here. I told everybody, get ready, get the sandbags, have the boarding stuff where you know where it is, get everything ready, because if you wait to the last minute, 1, you can't get it, 2, it costs 3 times as much. And even now, the deliveries, Roy Jr. ordered a flag for his dorm in January. It came in last week.
Yeah.
It came in last week.
Everything's really slow.
I don't know what it was of. Some band. It was some band he likes. Anyway, I watched Unorthodox. Did you watch it?
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh my God, it's so good. I binged on it. It's not that many. It's only 4
it's only 4 episodes, I think, isn't it?
It was so good. But my friend Jose told me to watch it. I watched it. I couldn't believe it was so good. I was so happy. And now I started watching The Good Fight. Do you know they filmed this last year? Everything they're doing, they're so ahead of the curve. They're now talking about racial injustice. They're talking about all these things that are current today. They're Trump and all his antics, and all of it's in there. It's so good. What else what have I been watching? Oh, well,
Linda Kimmel says she loved Unorthodox. And
it's so good. Yeah, I loved it. There's I forgot what the new show is that came out that everyone said I had to watch. There's a lot of them. I got to start. I don't have time to watch them. Honestly, I watch that in the middle of the night by myself. That's the only way I could get it done.
That new show at HBO that everybody's talking about, that Mark Ruffalo's in, and Rosie O'Donnell and
I
want
to see that one too.
I haven't got into it, but everyone that
What's
is.
the name of that one? We have to think of that.
I know this much is true, I think is what it's
Another
called.
one that's going to be good is the Betty Broderick story. Remember where she killed her husband when he was having the mistress, and they were in the bed and she shot him? I read the book. I've watched the television documentary. Now they're going to have a real documentary on it. That's going to be good. Mm-hmm. And there's another one also, it's called Dirty Betty. That one's coming out. I want to see that. Mm-hmm. So anyway... But in the meantime, I got put in a Twitter timeout for 12 hours. Have you ever?
So let me ask you about that, because you sent me that email and it said that
mad.
I know, but did you see, like, did they penalize you on the account? Did you see them put the flag next to your thing and say
I didn't even notice it. I woke up, I saw it. I punched whatever button they said punch. Then it said the clock started, and you have 11 hours.
Oh, so they did put you in timeout.
59 minutes.
They did.
Till you can tweet again.
I thought at first when I looked at the email you forwarded to me that it might have been some kind of weird marketing email. No, they did put you in timeout. They put me
in a 12-hour timeout.
Because you quoted Trump.
Because I quoted him. Someone made a tweet about all these comments he had made that were not nice. You know, like, I don't know, shove them into the car, put their head down and shove them in the car. Right. You know, I can't breathe. He made all these derogatory remarks. They made a list. And I just said, you forgot, or something like that, the shooting and the looting. That was it. I was commenting on a tweet. Those are his words, not mine. And I got a timeout. So now I tweet Twitter again. Is this a double standard? Are you holding everyone to the same standard? I was quoting Donald Trump. Did he get a timeout? I don't know what I said. But I didn't even really care, because 12 hours off of Twitter, I mean, honest to God, I binge it. I do it. I write 5 things. I stop and I forget about it for hours. And I do it again. I forget for hours. In the middle of the night, I'm bored. I do it. It's not like I live and die by it. Mostly I get the news. I get the CNN. I watch CNN, the Washington Post, you know, the BBC. New York Times, you know, all NBC, MSNBC. I get most of the news sites is pretty much what I watch, and a little gossip, not so much. But it's just, I couldn't believe I am quoting this president quote, not mine, maybe some other people's, that this is a little illegitimate one in my opinion. I'm probably going to now get deleted off of Facebook for saying this. Okay. Well, and I'm just quoting him, and I get a 12-hour timeout. I don't think he ever got a 12-hour timeout. I don't know.
Nope. They should have removed his account a long time ago. And let me tell you something. When this is all over, and if and when we get him out of there, he's going to rule from the side on Twitter.
Oh no, he's going to try to.
He's going to rule from the side on Twitter.
I was thinking right now. Imagine Hillary Clinton were in office and 20 people died from the virus. Can you imagine oh my God, this would be the end of the earth, and the incompetence, and 20 people died. This would be Benghazi times 100,000.
Yeah.
He lets 100,000 die, and he's still going, you know, it's going away. The sun's coming out. It's a hoax. They're trying to bring me out of office. We've got to bring back the economy. He's still in denial about it. And everyone's like going on about it. Imagine Obama were president and 100,000 people had died from this virus. Can you imagine?
It would have been
what
anarchy.
Would be going on? I mean, this is the guy that took out a full-page ad in the New York Times
about
with the Central Park 5, the young black people, saying they should be executed.
It's horrible.
When it turns out by the DNA that they were innocent.
Exactly.
I mean, imagine Obama had done that, or Hillary had done that, or even George Bush had done that. They would be crazy. By the way, George W. Bush and his wife came out with a statement yesterday.
Yep.
And I think his wife wrote it. She's a very good writer.
Actually, I saw Jenna talking about it today on the Today Show this morning, and she said her dad did it, and she said we really had to coax him to actually do it, because he's a firm believer of, like, once you leave the office, you kind of like sit by the side, but he felt like he couldn't.
He
said he couldn't do it. No.
Now, Esper came out today saying that was wrong for them to use the military force on our own citizens when they went and did the photo op with the Bible. Can I tell you, this is the funniest thing. He's holding the Bible. Now, somebody says it's upside down. I don't know, because I couldn't tell. But he was posing like the Price is Right lady. He was holding it like this. And then he turned to the side like this. Yep. And then he held it up like this. Like the Price is Right. Yep. I mean, I was laughing so hard.
And then he gave it back to Ivanka.
And then he gave it back to Ivanka to put in her $1,500 Max Mara purse. Now, I can't criticize anybody for having a $1,500 Max Mara purse. It's just the hypocrisy.
They asked him if it was his Bible, and he says it's a Bible.
Yeah, it's a Bible. He doesn't have a Bible.
2 Corinthians.
Oh my God, oh my God. And then that was the other thing. The woman that runs that church, the preacher, whatever, I don't know what kind of church it is. She goes, how embarrassing! You can't misuse the Bible for this. You can't misuse the church for this and this. And then Joe Biden comes on and said he never opened it up. He never read a scripture.
That's what this guy Andy Lugo said. He never read a verse.
The Bible, do unto others. Lay down your life for your friends. I mean, there are a lot of verses he could learn a lot from. He's never opened it. Oh my God. Now let me tell you, with the looting going on, the 2 funniest things I saw on all the videos with the looting were hilarious. Brendan and I, when we're in LA, my little friend, he's my second son. Oh, hi, Brendan, my second son. This kid's in his 20s, got 2 Emmys already, and now he's working for, he works in the entertainment business. I don't know if he wants. I don't know if he wants that out either. Where he works, because he's going to be. I'm embarrassed to know that woman. Anyway, he's never seen me before.
He's going to be like, "Who's that?"
But anyway, the funniest I've ever seen is we always like to go to the Rosses, the Marshalls, and the dollar stores. We think it's the best thing. We go get all the candles there, and we get all the hand lotions there. So I saw on one of these clips this woman walking out of one of those stores with 2 lamps. She had lamps and lampshades. And I was laughing so hard. She went in. She wanted those lamps. She's probably had that on her mind. Had her eye on
those. She did window shopping
for a long time, and she found the doors wide open. People are looting. She goes, "I'm just going to go in there and get my lamps." That's so funny. And then the other one is this young, skinny girl, cute as she could be, walking out literally with a cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory, and she was carrying it just like this, like a waiter.
Like a waiter.
And she's just prancing down the street with her cheesecake, and I'm like, oh my God, this is hilarious. There's probably a pair of Gucci shoes there, but she's got the cheesecake.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, this looting thing is horrible. I'm not trying to make light of it.
No,
it made
is really
me sick
bad.
to my stomach.
I saw Apple announce yesterday.
It breaks my heart. Yeah.
That they know all the device numbers that were stolen, and they said they're going to track them, and they will not be able to be activated.
They're not going to be able to be activated.
Yep.
But if I'm hoping that they track them and find out. Listen, I think if you're looting, you do go to jail.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, go to jail if you're looting. These people wait 2 months. They're not working. They're not making any money. Their stores are closed. They're waiting for the day to open up. They open up on Friday. And Saturday afternoon, they have to close down because of this. It makes me sick. And the worst part, in addition to all of it, they aren't wearing masks.
Yeah.
And they're clustered in, tons of them.
Yeah.
I mean,
we'll see.
You'll see what's going to happen.
By July 4th,
Yeah.
everyone will be sick.
You know what happened in Florida? There are 3,200 cases of pneumonia between February and May. February, March, April, May. 4 months, 3,200 cases. More cases than between February and May of the last 4 years. Which means 3,200 people died from that virus, and they tagged it as a pneumonia death.
Right.
That's exactly what it means. So when you look at the numbers in Florida, they are not to be believed. It's just not. Maybe we do have less here because we're spread out, because it's warm, because it's humid. But they're not telling the truth about the numbers. They're just not. And it's just dangerous. I'm sorry. They're not telling the truth. It makes me so upset. And the funny thing yesterday that happened, it's not even funny, it's tragic. Don Jr. reposted an Anfisa, quote, Anfisa, that Trump has just designated as a terrorist organization. Turns out it wasn't Anfisa. It was a site set up by a white supremacist.
Right.
To try to make it look like Anfisa was starting up all the problems. So now they asked the White House about it, and of course there's no comment. They pretended it never happened. Then once they determined it was in a white supremacist account under the fake name of an Anfisa account, then Don Jr. deleted his thing. But what he did is he commented on it. You see, Anfisa is a terrorist organization. We told you. Well, you know, he knew exactly what he was doing. Rather than just reposting it, he was acting like he was giving an opinion on it in order to repost it. You know, he's such a dumbass. Whatever. So meanwhile, remember when Colin Kaepernick took a knee?
Right.
And Pence walked out. Remember, he made that big thing. Cost the taxpayers like $80,000 for him to go to the football game, and he walked out because the players took a knee. If people would have paid attention when Colin Kaepernick said, we have this problem, and taken, when he took that knee, if people would have paid attention, we wouldn't have escalated to where it is right now. And according to the Obama administration that worked there, they left a handbook of things that needed to be done to de-escalate racial tensions.
Right.
Just like they did with the pandemic. None of those things were ever done. Trump doesn't read, let's just be honest.
Listen, I think people maybe are misinterpreting.
Why?
We're not thinking the looting is a good thing, guys. We're just trying to.
How many times did I say how horrible it is?
Yeah, exactly. So we want to make sure you all know that.
Well, you know better. You know I don't think that. It's
Mark
horrible.
Spalding said the funniest thing about the Cheesecake Girl was that she was carrying the fake one from the display free.
Oh, was it?
That's what he said. I don't know.
Decorate her kitchen.
Maybe, but yeah.
No,
but there's
I'm
nothing
not
funny about it, and we
No, it's
understand that.
horrible.
We're just trying to
How many
keep
times did I say
keep
it?
the show a little light today.
No. How many times did I say it? You're insulting me by thinking
exactly.
that. Okay, so forget it. Okay, move on. That's an insult to me for you to even think that. Okay, so what else? Oh, now, oh my God, I forgot what I can't even read myself. Anyway.
Your handwriting. I know. Welcome to our hell.
You know
Jason
what?
and I are always trying to figure
you know
out.
Why? I lay in the bed, I keep the notes, and I lay in the bed, and I'm not even watching it, I write. You know, when I want to write good, I can.
No.
So now RJ's doing school online. He made 96 out of 100 on one test and 86 out of 100 on the other. I was like, oh my God, thank God, thank God. Because this online thing is not so easy. You start the test, they lock it down, and you have to finish in a certain period of time, and you might have to refer to 20 different things. It's just not that easy. Anyway, so I was happy about that. Meanwhile, it's been flooding. It has been flooding in Miami. Did you see that the golf course had it looked like a lake.
Yep.
The entire golf course in front of my house looked like a lake.
It didn't even do that during the hurricane, Jason said.
I don't think it did.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't remember it being that bad.
But I remember coming out the day after.
Yeah, I don't think it was that bad.
And the trees were down, but not the lake.
Oh my God, it was deluged. Did you see downtown right in front of our building the people were swimming and cars were 4 and 5 feet under right in front of our building.
Yeah,
Thank
there
God
were places in Biscayne and stuff that were flooded too. Yeah.
Thank God. So that's, I mean, on top of everything else, we got the terrible looting, we got the terrible virus, we got the hurricanes coming, we've got the food lines with 3,000 people looking for food, we've got 5 kids a day that don't have, that are hungry. I mean, is there anything else that can just go wrong?
Did I send you that meme the other day, or is it, congratulations, you made it to the end of May. Welcome to Jumanji level 6 hurricane season. That's what it feels like. Every month, it's like another level of Jumanji.
And after this, they now determine that the kids in New York.
Plague of locusts.
It's a different strand of virus in New York than LA. So now they've got a large amount, I don't know the number because I didn't keep, at one time it was up like 17 people, I'm sure it's more, of young kids that have these horrible rashes, their bodies are swelling up, and they think they know it's related to the virus, they don't know why it's affecting kids that way. It's going to be just one thing after the other, and the universe is just saying, you know, I am done with you people.
Well, today
I'm
we
just
might
done
get.
with you people.
We've got 3 asteroids headed towards the Earth today too. They're going to come within 1,000,000 miles. So.
If anything breaks and falls off and it's got like a diamond attached, would you send it my way?
Yeah, people are asking if one of the viruses is more deadly. It's interesting. Yeah,
yes, the East Coast.
The East Coast one is supposedly.
Deadly. And by the way, that's where we didn't shut down. We didn't shut down the flights out of Europe. We shut down the flights out of China. Oh my God.
Whitley Rose says, I'm waiting for the aliens next. And Sylvia Daughtery says, plague of locusts.
So now look at this testimonial. This woman, Carol Simon. I mean, I don't know if you can tell. She's very attractive. She goes, Leah, this is 80 years old. Yes. I've been using your skincare for the last year. I'm in love, especially with the new CBD oil. Oh, I love the oil too. Look at my nails from the oil. I have never had plastic surgery in my life, and I don't think I will ever need it with the help of your skincare line. Thank you. And she's 80 years young. Her name is Carol Simon.
Yes.
Oh my God,
she looks
amazing.
She looks like she's in her like 60s, right?
No,
or even 50s.
I would say 50s, early 50s.
She looks great. She looks
actually, her skin could be any age. I mean, she really, it's fantastic. She's got great skin.
She did in her thing that she wrote in. She did say it comes from good genes, but she swears that she said your skincare line has really done it. I mean, listen, she doesn't look 80 at all.
Not at all.
So.
Well, I don't
Well,
look
people
90
can get
either.
the oil on leahblack.com, and
That's
if they use the
right.
podcast code, they can get 50% off of it, along with all the other CBD products.
And I don't look 90 either, so it works.
Leah's 312.
Yeah, he's counting. Leah's life lessons.
Like a vampire.
Leah's life lessons, quote of the week. Facts are facts, swag is swag, and truth is truth. Speaking of facts and truth, have you ever seen any more distorted facts in your life than what is happening under the Trump administration? I mean, it's just, he's up to, I forgot how many, 18,000 lies. Even now, there's now a new super PAC put by Republicans.
Yes, that's all their
Republican
commercials.
super PAC. Then they have the Lincoln Project, or Project Lincoln, which is another Republican PAC. They have got a lot of Republicans are just like, we can't take it anymore. Even Esper came out today and said, I had no idea it was going to be photo op in front of the church with a fake Bible. He didn't say fake. And he goes, I had no idea that they were going to be shooting these people with tear gas, and we don't have the legal right to do that, and we shouldn't be doing it. Yeah. And now Trump's mad at him, of course. But I mean, Republicans are starting to finally, it took him spraying American citizens with tear gas and pepper gas or whatever, and trotting out in front of a church that's boarded up with the Bible, pretending to like the Price is Right girl, for even some of these Republicans to finally say, this guy is really nuts.
I know. Did you see Leslie's sign she posted the other day? Somebody had in their front yard, and it says, I'm a Republican, but I'm not a fool. Yeah. And it said Biden 2020.
And then I thought you were referring to the one where they showed Trump in front of the sign where it talked about when church was going to be and who the preacher was, and that. Yeah. They changed to his whole quote about
grab him and
grab him and I kiss him, and when you're a star, they let you do it. You want to take a little break?
Yeah, Andre Luego just asked about the skincare too. Yes, it is for men. We probably have 30-40% of our clientele is men, so you can definitely use it. We have lots of men that enjoy the product.
Lots of men.
We are going to take a 5-second break for our commercial providers, and we will be right back. And we're back.
So, back to the protest. I'm all for the protest as long as they're peaceful, but I am not for people protesting without a mask.
Exactly.
That is driving me crazy. You can tell. It's so funny.
They're out there screaming and yelling, so all those droplets are going everywhere.
City has its own personality. If you go to Portland, for example, they all have their masks on, you know? But then you go to another city and nobody has their mask on. Then you go to New York and maybe half have their mask on. Every city is basically telling you who they are and what they believe. I can't believe they don't.
I think it's because it's been politicized too. I think that's why.
That's the only reason. Yes, Trump's gone up and said, I'm too big of a man to wear a mask. And so everybody's like, oh, well, if he doesn't need one, we must not really need one. Well, he gets tested twice a day and everybody around him is getting tested every day. So, of course, he doesn't need a mask. But he should wear one out of respect for everybody else. But so, by the way, that's his rules. Those are the rules his department set up. Notice Fauci came out yesterday and said that he's been basically ignored now. He's done.
Oh, yeah, they've written him off.
Actually, I want to read this one thing to you. Listen to this. Just so you know about this virus, 100,000 people are dead now. They said if we would have come out 1 week earlier with the distancing, we would have saved 40,000 lives. 2 weeks earlier, it would have been 80,000 lives. So imagine 80% of the people that are dead wouldn't have been dead if we would have come out just 2 weeks earlier. Well, 1 week earlier, Trump was playing golf at Mar-a-Lago having a birthday party for Junior's girlfriend. Yep. So, but in December, the intelligence offices repeatedly told the National Security Council and other government officials about the developing outbreak. That was in December. On January 2nd, the CDC director contacted the National Security Council to warn them of the spread of an unknown pathogen. January 21st, the first coronavirus case came in the U.S. January 21st. The 30th, the WHO, the World Health Organization, declared a global health emergency, and Dr. Fauci warned of the need to prepare for the epidemic. That was January 30th. February 6th, an American citizen died in China as Trump praised the president of China on Twitter. February the 25th, the CDC warned of an outbreak in the U.S. and that it was inevitable and that it was going to have a disruption to daily life and it could be severe if we didn't take actions. On February 27th, Trump called the virus a new hoax by the Democrats. Yep. On March the 3rd, Trump said 6 weeks ago and 8 weeks ago, you never heard of this thing. Well, that's a lie, because in November, he warned Israel of it. And he was warned in December and January, and January and January and February and February and February. So February 3rd, he said 6 weeks ago, you never heard of it. March the 9th, he downplayed the virus and compared it to the common flu. Well, that was the weekend, the day, Monday after the weekend that he was playing golf. The 26th, we had more cases than any other country. And by March the 31st, 80% of Americans were under lockdown with thousands dead and counting. And by the way, that is what caused this economic crash. If we would have done what South Korea did, we would not have this economic disaster. So, I mean, there was a chart exactly on what all the other countries had and what we had. And we are the worst in infections, the worst in death, and the slowest in taking any action when we knew it was going on in China. We knew it was going on. And closing down China and bragging about it, well, he closed down China, but 400,000 people still came in from Europe to to New York. But he said he's going to leave the UK open when he closed down Europe. Well, then all you got to do to get to the US is to get anywhere in Europe to the UK and fly here. And that's why the East Coast was hit so hard. By the way, the East Coast virus, they say, is much worse than the West Coast virus. And we live on the East Coast. And of course, all those people from New York are coming down here to Florida.
They're all going to be down here.
You see them posting it all the time, out playing golf, no mask.
You're getting a lot of comments.
Okay, whatever.
Bianca Davis says hello from Sunshine. She says she knew, hey Leah, it's Bianca from Sunshine.
Hi.
Andre Luigo says...
Sunshine, CD company, yeah.
Marcella Bernardi said, video of Trump demanding Melania to smile.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Do you think she will divorce Trump after his presidency?
I think that mentally she's already dumped him. Was that hilarious? She's standing there like a mannequin, and he's like, you could smile. And so she goes, she tried. She couldn't even do it. She tried to smile. She must keep. She doesn't live in the White House. All the people that I know, the real sources tell me that she lives with her parents in a big, beautiful home in Washington, D.C. near the White House. She does not live in the White House. I don't think she and her son live there with him. I don't blame them.
J.A. Mulville says, thank you for mentioning the even intelligent, logical thinking Republicans that are in awe with what is happening.
God.
And then Chris Langlich said, there are no intelligent Republicans because they are all capulate when it matters. They're as much to blame as the lunatics.
Oh, they are as much to blame. The enablers.
Well,
the enablers. Mitch McConnell thinks that he's the judge and jury on everything.
They have to get him out of office.
Let me tell you what. Listen to this.
He's more dangerous than Trump.
He is, because he's smarter than Trump. All he has done is load up the courts with these young, unqualified judges for the last 3 years. He wouldn't let Obama appoint any judges in the Senate his last 2 years because he had a Republican Senate. And then he's had 3 years of Trump. So 5 years, they've managed to put 194 people on the bench, of which the National Board of Lawyers, or whatever it's called, has said big percentage of them aren't even qualified to be lawyers, much less judges. They just happen to pass the bar exam somehow, some way. There are a lot of people that can go out and study hard and pass something that doesn't make them qualified. They don't have any experience. He's packed 194, and it's all about abortions and guns. That's not the only two issues in the world, I hate to tell you.
Yep.
But Mitch McConnell decides what gets voted on and what doesn't.
Yeah, and he's railroading everything.
Now listen to this.
JJ Jack says also, you are very inspirational. I admire your charity work and been doing the same for 17 years, volunteering.
Oh,
and he says, watching you on Miami Housewives was wonderful.
Oh, my God.
Thank you for inspiring me.
Oh, thank you. The Housewives. Oh my God, that was a life in the past. Mitch McConnell has represented Kentucky for 35 years. Kentucky may need new leadership. Kentucky is 44th in health care, 48th in health care quality, 38th in education. Well, that shows you why they're voting for him, dummies. 43rd in higher education, which means they're barely probably passing high school and not going on to even a 1 or 2 year or even a skill set type of training or internships or anything else. A lot of brilliant people graduated from high school have made tons of money. They're very successful and do a lot of good things. But when you're 43rd in the states for higher education, that means that you don't value it that much, 39th in the economy, 44th in employment, 44th in economic opportunity, and 45th in fiscal stability. So as Cuomo says, New York pays $46 billion a year more in taxes than it takes out. And this guy takes out about 30 to 40 billion a year for his state. So who's on welfare here? Kentucky's on welfare. But these 38% of people that are the poorly educated, that Trump loves the poorly educated, they're keeping him in office because who knows what is it? They don't know any better. He's on TV all the time. They're not following it. They want their gun, whatever. And he's been running the Senate now for 5 years, and the whole world is going to hell. The deficit has gone up out of control. The poor are getting poorer. The hungry are getting hungrier. They're trying to get rid of food stamps. They're trying to get rid of any kind of program that helps people. And this is why you have this uprising. People are hungry, and they're starving, and they haven't worked, and they can't work. None of this was their fault. And then all of a sudden they go, well, that store's open. Somebody knocked that door down. Maybe I'll go steal something, sell it, and be able to eat for a month. I mean, it's horrible what's going on. It's horrible what's going on. And they should all go to jail. But we have to look at who we've been in the culture of allowing this to get to the point where you're not educated enough and don't have a minimum wage enough to live on, that you resort to something like that and you don't know better. Oh, God, I can't.
Crystal Lee had a question about the Housewives.
Oh, my God.
She
Let's
said,
change the subject. What?
It says, is it true that you and Adrian are half sisters? I read that on Reddit, and I don't think it's true, but I wanted to clarify.
She and I are sisters?
No. I felt we needed to address that, though.
No.
Just and you can go back to Reddit and let everybody know that.
That's fake news. Oh, my God.
Tonya Harris says, why would any young attorney want to be a low-paid judge? It just doesn't make sense.
Because they have another agenda.
Yeah, it's another agenda.
They have another agenda. Yeah. I mean, listen, what's his name, McConnell, he stole a Supreme Court seat. And let me tell you, if there was a Supreme Court seat that came open in December, he would railroad it through before the inauguration.
Yeah,
and
for
he
sure.
wouldn't even put that one through because he says, well, we're in an election year and the voters get to say. No, that's not really how it works. And he won't, he's the judge and jury of everything.
Yeah.
He decides what legislation. They had it yesterday, 2 days ago, the House passed a bill about not being able to, I forget what it was, not being able to spray or take arms against your own citizens. Well, they don't have that right anyway, but they brought something to the floor in regards to that. Mitch McConnell wouldn't. Oh, they wanted to condemn Trump for doing it.
Yesterday, they wanted to condemn him. He wouldn't bring it. Yeah, no,
bring it to the floor.
They asked him.
You can't condemn somebody for spray gassing in mass amounts, citizens that are protesting peacefully. If you can't even bring yourself to do that, I mean, these
and
people
didn't the Secretary of Defense just resign over the whole thing or something happened today?
But he came out. He distanced himself from it. But Trump's going to now come away to fire him. They've already fired all the inspector generals. Anybody that reports any of the lie, cheating, and stealing and looting that the Trump administration is doing, they get fired. So that's that. So the new on March the 5th, there were 355 deaths in 35 deaths in South Korea. There were 11 deaths in the U.S. That was on March the 5th. 35 deaths in South Korea. 11 deaths in the United States. March the 5th. 3 months later, May 26th, 3.5 months later, there were 269 deaths in South Korea and 93,371 deaths in the United States. What is the difference? Leadership, telling truth to the American people, telling them to wear a mask, telling them to distance, telling them the truth about what's going on with this virus. There are still nurses saying they don't have proper protective gear. That is just unbelievable. And now look what happened. Everything gets closed down. Because of the virus, and now look at the economy. Now we're having to bail out on top of the $19 trillion we already owe. We're now having to bail out another $4 trillion, another $4 trillion. And that money, a lot of it's going to the major corporations. Not all of it's going to the little people that deserve it. Like the little guy making $10 an hour, which you shouldn't be making $10 an hour. You can't live on $10 an hour. There's $8.25 in some states as minimum wage. Sorry. So
Kentucky.
Kentucky. So the world's largest rodeo was canceled. The Boston Marathon was canceled. I mean, they're canceling all these big events, so these big athletic events. All of that's hurting our economy, and it didn't have to be. It didn't have to be. If we would have taken the steps South Korea took, we would be at 269 deaths on May the 26th instead of 93,371. If you can't see that Trump bankrupted 6 of his own companies, went through $500 million of his dad's money left him for an inheritance, put C for colored and didn't rent to colored people, thinks that are good people on both sides, runs around, trots the Bible out like the Price is Right girl. If you can't see through all that and get up and vote against every Republican that's enabled him, then we're not going to be living in we're already becoming a third world country. We're going to become a banana republic. We're going to become a banana republic. Where are we going to go? Nowhere to go.
The people that are listening from the UK would like for you to run for president.
I would straighten this out.
They want to know if you're going to run for office.
I would straighten this nonsense out. There are a lot of brilliant people in this country that could solve every one of these problems if we wanted to solve them.
I saw Michael Moore do a post yesterday about like the things with what's going on right now and how we needed to reform it. And I mean, it was step by step, and it was better than anybody had ever seen. I was like, this is what they need to send to the government and let them do.
Trump left a pandemic. I mean, Obama left a pandemic playbook. He left a racial tensions playbook. He left bringing the deficit down. He left, and
he got rid of the reform program that Obama put in place.
And got rid of all of it because Obama had his name on it. Well, of course, he and the birther, and I don't feel sorry for Melania. She was a birther too. Yep. She thought, they came from Kenya, Who cares anyway? But it wouldn't matter to me if he did. But you have to be born in the U.S. to be the president, but that's not the point. He did it it was a racial slur that he said he came out of Kenya. That's really what it was. I can't take it anymore. So now we're at 1,000,007 cases of the virus with 40,000 people have applied for unemployment. By the way, in the state of Florida, they're making it so hard for you to get your unemployment check that you just want to give up. And I tell people, do not give up. That is your money. We have paid taxes for years to an unemployment account. Yeah. So you get your money. Don't give up.
You remember I brought up on the last episode when we were talking about this that I felt like that they should sue. There should be some type of civil suit. I saw this week there is a suit that has been put together because of all of the problems with the websites and stuff. Well, and they call it the virtual waiting room because you just sit there on hold for hours.
The legislation gives immunity to people like these states and the governors and these people. That's why you got to vote these people out. Yeah. They shouldn't have immunity. If they're lying, cheating, stealing, looting, and not giving you your due that you have put your money into and paid for and earned, they should not have immunity.
Right.
They should be fucking held accountable, and they're not, because we had a bunch of Republicans in there that want to protect every corporation and nothing for the guy that's building the corporation. Right. Nothing for the grassroots people that are out there keeping the country alive, like the delivery trucks and the food people. They're making people work in those food plants where they're all contaminated. Mm-hmm. And you know what? When they asked the guy and they said, you're making these people work and they've all been tested positive and you're making them work to keep their job. Do you know what his reply was? Oh, no, we're not slave drivers here. Well, what the hell do you call it then?
That's horrible.
And by the way, no one's going to die if they don't eat meat for a month or two.
Right.
No,
probably get better.
They're going to be healthier. Go eat some vegetables. Go eat some fruits. Go eat some nuts. Go eat something else. Eat some peanut butter. You don't have to have meat to live. So why should these people die? And imagine you're sitting there packing the meat, coughing on the meat, and you're sick, 100-degree fever, and you're still having to work to keep your check and your benefits. They're contaminating the meat, which I'm sure you cook off before, but whatever. The whole idea, the concept of it is disgusting to begin with, chopping up these animals. It's just disgusting. And then no one's going to die if they don't eat the meat, but people are going to die preparing. And then what about this disgusting thing where they have to now euthanize all these animals that they had raised to be chopped to death for us to eat because they bred too many of them, and now we don't have the food supply chain to deliver the fucking dead animals. Oh my God. I can't. I can't. I just can't.
Sally Butts had something here I felt like worth mentioning. She says there is no money in fixing things. And that's true.
That's true.
That's very true.
It all starts with your character, your integrity, and doing what's right, to do the right thing.
And Crystal Lee says, I am loving, angry, and indignant Leo. We need more of her.
She's a on, Alex.
This is the season finale. We're getting it all off our chest today.
We may have a special or two over this summer. 84% of Americans are wearing a mask, according to a latest survey. That was taken
Not in Miami.
That was taken before the protesting. 89% Democrats, 81% independents, and 81% Republicans. 88% female, 81% male, and 83% white Americans and 86% black Americans. Now that was before the protest, and that was before they opened everything up. And the mistake Trump made, well, let's go down to how many. The big one regarding the virus, in addition to ignoring it for 3 months while people died, was to say, we're opening up, everything's opening up, it's going to be great, it's going to be better than ever before, only I can rebuild the economy, come on, let's all go to work. What he should have said is, we have an amendment to make you a deal. If you will social distance, if you will wear a mask, we will open up the economy. That was the deal, but he didn't. He didn't do it. Okay, so let's move on to something. I can't with any more. Well, let's just see if there's anything. Oh, by the way, 17.8 tons of our PPE was shipped to China on February the 9th, okay? And then he says, well, Obama left the coffers empty. Well, you had 3 years to fill it up, but it wasn't true.
Yeah, that's not true.
Pompeo shipped all that stuff to China, and we had videos of it coming off the trucks. In fact, Pompeo tweeted about it and bragged about how we were helping China, while you were bragging about how great and transparent they were because you could make a trade deal with them. When we wouldn't be in a trade deal mess with them if you wouldn't have started the trade war, which cost us millions of farmers going broke.
Right.
And this guy, everything you do is just stupid. You are just stupid. I wish you would just, you want to have to say to you and a bitch slap you and just tell you how stupid you are. There's an article out that his mother used to say he was really stupid, but I don't know if it's true, so I'm not going to say that it's true, but it wouldn't surprise me. Oh, my God.
Chris Leedeg says, my doctor told me not to wear a mask and not to get the flu vaccine, but he now only does televisits. How hypocritical. That's very true.
Well, I guess if you're a doctor and you need those televisits, then you tell them, don't wear a mask because you might get sick and I can come charge you. Oh, my God, just stop. The guy should be reported to the medical board.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. Oh, my God. I'm just going to move on with all this. I could go on and on and on. We have 30% of the world deaths, 40% decline in the GDP, and we have a 36% decline in the stock market. We have 40% of households have used all their emergency funds, 40% a decline in employment, and 38 million people on SNAP, which are food stamps that the Mitch McConnell and the Republican Senate is trying to take away and stop. Why do they want to take away these food stamps? Because they are evil people.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, so moving along, let's do something light. In celebrity news, the high-end Louis Vuitton masks are going for $400. Can you imagine?
I'm sure they are.
Nobody stole and looted all the masks. I talked about that. Rush Limbaugh came out and said he might not be doing a show for a while because the chemo was kicking his ass, and that 95% of people that had been treated with the treatment he had responded and he didn't. Yep. So he's going to be taking some time off. So that didn't sound good. In royalty news, no comment. In royalty news, Kate says, they say there was an article that she was upset that Meghan and Harry left because now she has to do more duties. Well, I don't believe that for 1 minute, number one. And number two, the palace immediately came out and defended her for saying that. She didn't want them there. They were getting too much attention, and the tabloids were tearing them up. And I didn't see them coming out and condemning the tabloids and say, lay off of this couple. Whatever.
Crystal Lee says, I'm so sad this is the season finale. Leah is wonderful. Bravo should just do a Leah rants show for the summer. And JJ Jack says, America would be shook to the core if that ever happened.
Oh, my God. That would be the end of the world as we know it. Oh, my God.
Chris Lennox said, Rush Limbaugh is alive. I thought he died of a drug overdose.
No comment.
And Sally Butt says, no food stamps would leave more than 1 in 5 children hungry.
Of course it would.
That's that's my problem. And I get into this with family members
what-
sometimes
a lot of
because
senior citizens
they're
use
also
that.
one-sided
Oh,
too.
my
It's
God.
like they want to, they don't want you to do this. They don't believe in this, but then they also don't look at the other side of it. Like, for instance, if you're, they're all pro-life, but then they don't want to give you food stamps or anything if you can't afford to have the kid, or it's going to put you in a bad situation.
Well, they won't let you
they don't look at it from both
Let's
sides.
say you're
That's what
2
drives
weeks,
me crazy.
2 weeks pregnant, and you're barely pregnant. You're supposed to make sure that child lives so that you can not educate it, not feed it, and it can grow up in a life of crime, and then punish it forever with your knee on its neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds because they misbehaved in your mind. I mean, the whole system needs to be reviewed. And what's happened is, if you really want to look at the root of the problem, politics used to be about public service. When George Washington, they said, stay in power. I don't want a kingdom. I want a democracy. They have now become self-serving. Look at that woman that sold out $40-something million in stock. But she's not being indicted.
No, they let them all off.
They
There were
let
like
them all
4 or
off.
5 of them
All
who did
of
it.
those Republicans that were basically doing insider
And I think
trading.
a Democrat did too.
No, there was one.
One, maybe.
And she disclosed, full disclosure with
Yeah.
everything, that everything she had was in a blind trust, and she had not been to the meetings where they had
That's
discussed
good.
that.
Good.
One Democrat. All those Republicans were in the meetings. They all knew what was going on, and they all sold off their stocks before the crash. So don't tell me. I mean, come on. And you want to know why people are outraged. People have every right to be outraged. Speaking of George Floyd, I think his funeral is going to be tomorrow, one of them. And so we're going to support that. It's just so sad. 8 minutes and 46 seconds while they literally just killing the guy. It broke my heart. I just can't. It's just terrible. By the way, just so you know what brought this to a head, in addition to everything else, there was Rodney King, Malice Green, Abner Luma, Abdu Delio, Sean Bell, Oscar Grant, Trayvon Martin. That one broke my heart. The one where they shot that little guy that was in his back while he was running away. He was a little teenager. It was just like 100 pounds. Eric Gardner, Michael Brown, Tamir Rice, another one that broke my heart. LaQueen McDonald, Walter Scott, Freddie Gray, Philandro Castile, Antoine Rose, Ahmaud Arbery. Remember the 3 guys in a pickup truck and a camera running that guy down. He was jogging through the neighborhood and shooting him 3 times with the rifles. Breonna Taylor sleeping in her bed, shot 7 or 8 times by cops that came in unannounced. And George Floyd. So this has been boiling since 1991, and it's a systemic problem, and anybody that says it isn't is just not living in reality. That's just the way it is. Meanwhile, in celebrity news, I watched the Housewives of New York and Beverly Hills. To sum it all up, I don't know what to say.
Let me tell you something. Leah on New York.
Oh my God. She's out of control.
Let me tell you something. I don't want to get into too many details, but I had a friend.
I only have a couple of minutes.
A friend that I knew, and he's in the medical field, but he was an addict, and if he had one sip of alcohol, he turned into a completely different person. And she is the female version of him. When I was watching that show the other night, it took me back to all the stuff I lived through with that.
They said Luann was going to start drinking, but I haven't seen that
Yes, she has drank like twice.
But I haven't seen her drunk
But she's not been getting drunk. She's just been sipping.
So now the New York bird watcher, remember that?
Yes.
He defended the woman, said stop sending her hate mail. Just try to get through the end of this. Disney supposedly opening in July. That's going to be a big mess. And then the Housewives, I watched Beverly Hills. I mean, to be honest with you, it's the Housewives are so superficial compared to everything else that's going on. It's hard to watch right now.
Yep.
And it's just like maybe it's either jumped the shark. Maybe it's just like in times like this, he wants to watch a bunch of rich women running around complaining about rich problems. Or, maybe it's just, I don't know. But I mean, I like it. It's fun to watch, but there's too much else going on right now. By the way, those 1,000 cadets that they quarantined, well, of course, now a bunch of them have the damn virus because they had to fly to Washington, D.C. to stand there so Trump could make his big, graduation speech, inaugural, whatever it's called. And so they had to go and spend 2 weeks in quarantine. So now a bunch of them got the virus from flying on the planes to get there. So these poor cadets are put in harm's way so he can go have his ego glorious display of, making this grand speech he's going to make, which he'll read off a teleprompter that Stephen Miller, the evil, will write. Meanwhile, has everyone forgotten about all the kids in the cages down on the border? Do we need to wrap this up before 5 minutes?
No, but we need to also tell people what we're doing.
Okay, so what we're doing, this is our season finale. We are going to move to YouTube
In the
on
fall.
our new show in our fall. Instead of being on Facebook Live, you'll catch us on YouTube Live. And of course, we'll repost everything. So how much time do we have before we're trying to get in under a minute?
Yeah,
so we
you've
can
got
post
you've got
it.
about another three minutes.
another
But
3
yeah, but
minutes.
everyone, we will be starting the show and the podcast back up in the fall, but it will be on YouTube, and then you can still get the podcast on any of your podcast providers. We're just kind of having issues with the whole.
No, we're not having issues. I'm sick of Mark Zuckerberg. So
That's
let's
part
just
of it
start
too.
right there.
And then we're also having problems just behind the scenes with trying to get Leah's stuff boosted, and
They're
so
so
ridiculous.
unfair.
I spent over 20 hours this week with them, and it's just not
Moving
worth
along,
it.
we got to move along. So Trump accused Joe Scarborough of murder and wants it to be
I know.
investigated.
It's awful.
Can you believe this? The president of the United States doesn't just going to say that this guy who's on MSNBC murdered this intern. He was in Washington when the girl died. He wasn't even there.
I know.
It's been
It's ridiculous.
investigated ad nauseum. The husband came out and said to Twitter, please make him take that down. Stop smearing besmirching my wife, whom I never remarried since, her life and her legacy by letting them say she was murdered. She was not murdered. And Trump is still digging in that, oh, she was murdered. They need to investigate that. They need to check that out. A lot of people are saying, that's his go-to. A lot of people are saying he never says who. That one burned me up. Roger Stone is supposed to go to jail June 30th. So do you think he'll be pardoned? That's another question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
And so this one tweet that I liked. The horrors of Trump Unleashed are collapsing together. Racism, hatred, incompetence, aggressive rejection of government, sadistic pleasure, violence, and the pandemic economy, police killings, and growing rage. I agree. And you should all follow the Lincoln Project. They did the great videos. And then they put out that. Did you see that video of Trump? Shove him in the cop car.
Yeah.
I can't breathe. I can't. Mocking the I can't breathe. It's like a litany of things that they're good people on both sides. A litany of all these things
It's like
he's
a montage.
done to just enrage people and have it boil over to this point. He's like lighting the fire, Oh, I can't. And then another tweet. He's vicious, he's demented, he's rabid, he's inhumane, he's malicious, he's psychotic, malevolent, sadistic, evil, malignant, destructive, heinous, hateful, abhorrent, repugnant, abdominal, a disgusting, sickening, worthless lump of toxic sludge. I mean, people are like me. They're just like, I can't take it anymore.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to see you guys in the fall on YouTube Live. We will post all about it. We'll post it on Instagram, Twitter, and for now, Facebook. And then we'll be back with a whole new season of goodies, gossip, laughs, giggles, and fun and rants and rages.
And Leah's YouTube page is Leah Black Official. So if you want to search for it, we have all of the previous episodes from all of the seasons prior to this one. And don't forget to use the podcast code to get 50% off at leahblack.com on select
Try
beauty
that
products.
oil.
And I think that's all I have for
All right.
on my
Meanwhile,
page.
have a great summer. Stay sequestered if you can. Wear your mask. If you go to work, take precautions. Watch the news. Watch the news. See what's going on and inform yourself, and do not watch Fox. Oh, my God, the propaganda channel. Okay, we had fun, everybody. It's been a great season. We'll see you guys
Bye,
next
everyone.
time.
Have a great
Bye.
summer. Stay safe.
Did we stay with our minute?